Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I have a very special episode I'd like to talk about. Today's guest is a guest a lot of you out there may have never heard of, and it's a shame, and you are going to get to know her. Anastasia Washington. She is a very funny and very talented, and as you can see in that picture, beautiful woman who is Los Angeles based. She is an actress, comedian, podcaster, director, producer, writer, and she covers events, and she does most of that stuff. And as you know, I do most of that stuff as well. And I'm going to be talking to her today. I first became aware of her a couple of years ago. My friend Kelly Maroney was on her podcast / show, Comics and Cocktails, and I thought to myself, wow, what a beautiful woman. And then I found out just how funny and talented she is too, via YouTube and her website. And I am going to talk to her today. I can't wait. We're going to get to know each other and talk about our favorites and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, here's my conversation with Anastasia Washington.
Hello?
Hey, Anastasia.
Yes?
Yep, it's Tommy, and we are live.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
We're live. I'm good.
That is awesome. That is awesome. A couple of years ago, I became aware of you when my friend Kelly Maroney was on your show, Comics and Cocktails.
Oh my God, yes. That was such a fun episode. I really enjoyed doing that show. It was really fun. Mainly because of the drinking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
Yeah. And I saw you on there, and I thought to myself, wow, she's really beautiful. And then I went on your website, and I also watched your videos and discovered you're also very funny and talented. And just like me, you're a jack of all trades in showbiz. And I was like, wow, I want to get to know this girl.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I think you kind of have to be nowadays. Have to have your hand in everything.
Yeah.
Trying to survive out here.
Absolutely. So when did you get the showbiz bug?
Well, I've been acting since I was a kid. My mom said that I wouldn't stop tap dancing and singing and try to make everyone laugh when I was a kid, so she just was like, okay, let's go get her an agent. So I started acting when I was a kid, and I really don't remember not doing, auditions and jobs and stuff like that. It's kind of like my home. I love it. So I got to do some stuff when I was a kid, like Lamb Chop and some rated R movies that I shouldn't have seen, but I was in.
What were some of those movies, if you remember?
Die Hard 2, I think it's rated R.
Yep.
I feel like it's rated R.
It is.
Yeah, I got to be blown up in that. That was pretty cool. I guess I knew way too much about showbiz at a young age because I was like, this is cool, I'm getting blown up. But I'm,
yeah. It's a big movie, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Addams Family series, both Addams Families, that was kind of cool because there was a lot of blood on set, and I just thought that was so fun.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I remember going into the tutoring tent, and Christina was in there, and she had this this gushing wound of blood that kept coming. They didn't want to take it off during tutoring, so it was just gushing every once in a while. It was hilarious. How am I supposed to do my work?
Oh my God.
Gushing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I've been doing it for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Did you did you go anywhere for any special acting training?
You know, I've been in this city for so long, you know, my whole life. I've taken pretty much everything. You know, I did play house Splats for a while. I'm a UCB graduate. I've done
Nice.
a little bit of Groundlings, a little bit of Second City, a lot of comedy stuff. And, you know, every once in a while somebody pops up and I'm like, oh, I'll take that class. But, you know, I like to travel more than sitting there for a degree. I tried the degree thing. I think more like conservatory stuff that I've ever finished a degree or anything like that.
Yes, Groundlings, UCB. Yeah, that's pretty cool. When I graduated high school, my goal was to move to Hollywood, take classes at the Groundlings, and hopefully get into the company and all that stuff. But I had to stay behind, take care of my grandma, and then life took an unexpected direction there. But when I moved to LA, hopefully next year, I'm gonna take Improv A over there. I don't necessarily.
Yeah, is great.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to be in the company anymore because I'm older now and life has changed and I have other goals.
Yeah, well, naturally, and it's great to be on a team and stuff. But I think more importantly, it's like the training that you get at these places like Groundlings, UCB. It just makes your auditions and your performances so much stronger and so much better. And I think that's really what you take away from it. And a great community. Like it's just a fun community. You know, when you see somebody else that's like gone to your school, you're like, oh my God, you know, like you have something in common. We've been through the trenches together.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Very supportive and stuff. I imagine.
Yeah. And it's great to see like your teachers working, like, you know, just turning on the TV and going, oh my gosh, I took a class with that person. Oh my God, they're doing such amazing stuff on, you know, Adult Swim or, you know, Comedy Central, or just like, it's amazing to see these people that you've actually like studied with working, and it, you know, gives you hope too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you turn on the TV, you see them, you're like, wow, I was in a class with that person. Wow, I'm in show business, kind of, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's weird being out here and things. I mean, it's great. It's amazing seeing so many of the people that you work with and your friends, and being able to support, you know, this community, because, you know, it's tough out here, but it's awesome to see people succeed, and I'm always happy to see people I know succeed. So,
yeah,
you know, I think that's important to like actually support, you know, your colleagues and stuff like that, because they'll support you when you make it, you know. So,
yep.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, well, they say 1% of you and your agent makes your break, and 99% of your breaks are because of your peers.
True. You know, so many opportunities come from people you know, and helping each other out. I feel like you should always, you know, to some extent, help people out as you're, you know, as you're part of this community. Like what you know, give your time and give your energy and give your support, because you never know. And also, it's just kind of a cool experience to learn all these different like things that you can do. Like, you know, like I would have never known that I could be a producer or a writer or all these things if I didn't like go, oh, you need help on your project? Oh, let me try, you know, and just supporting other people. Then you realize all these other avenues that are there for you in this entertainment industry besides just being in front of camera, and that's really cool to like explore.
Yeah. I also saw that you do stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I've done a few stand-up. You know, I haven't done it in a bit, but I always feel like I want to go back. And every once in a while somebody's like, "Do you want to do a show?" And I'm like, "I do, but I feel like I have con season right now, convention season." And I'm like, I feel like that would be stretching me a lot thin, but I do want to go back to it for sure.
Yeah, I've been doing it since 2006 in San Francisco, and
awesome!
I'll tell you, I
love San Francisco. Sorry, that's my dog in the background.
Oh, it's okay. I love dogs.
She's the unofficial mascot of everything I do.
Nice. Yeah, no, I loved San Francisco up until about 8 years ago, and I had to get out. I'm in Redding now because my mom moved here and she needed help with the rent. But yeah, that's where I started doing stand-up, and the energy out there is very, very strange, I'll tell you. Just a lot of
in San Francisco.
Yeah, the PC hipsters and just the weird vibe of that place is just I can't describe it. It's just really strange, and I had to get out.
Understandable, the vibes change. I only, I have family up north in NorCal in Santa Rosa-ish area. And so I usually am there for a couple hours in San Francisco and just going straight up to the Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley area. So
yeah.
I just get a tourist vibe from it because all I'm doing is stopping to get my bread and
yeah.
stuff like that, So I can imagine living there might be a little, different than the experience I'm getting.
It is. And in terms of stand-up, they're only supportive of you out there if you're derivative of everybody. But if you're unique and special, they want you to get the fuck out of there.
Oh, no, that sucks. I mean, I get it. Out here, I'm a little nerdier than most of the stand-up comedians out here, especially the female comedians, but I don't ever want to, alter my comedic voice because it would fit in better. I mean, that would just be so unauthentic of me to be like, okay, well, I'm going to sound like everybody else, Yeah. I am nerdy, and it seeps into my stand-up, So that'll be me for, always.
Yeah. I'm very nerdy too in my stand-up. I have a persona of a fanboy, and I just talk shit about pop culture stuff and sex and all that stuff. And all the older comics love me out there because I remind them of a lot of guys they came up with. But all the comics in my age group just fucking hate me.
Oh no, I'm sure that's not true. Maybe they're just a little jealous.
Exactly.
You're actually being your authentic self. I mean, I always feel kind of a little bit awkward because I mean, it's not like I totally have a foul mouth for sure, but for some reason when I do my stand-up, I'm pretty PG, and I have no idea where that comes from. There must be some weirdness in me that comes out on stage.
Yeah.
Because during my podcast and stuff like that, I have the biggest potty mouth. But for some reason, my stand-up is pretty clean and pretty not, it pretty much makes fun of me. I don't really make fun of anybody else. And my mom's always like, when she goes to my stand-up show, she's like, use us. There's so much in your family. And I'm like, I don't know. I like making fun of myself and how ridiculous it is, being a plus size model and being an actor that's grown up in this industry. I think there's so much funny stuff that's unique from that making fun of my, crazy family is it'll eventually get there, I'm sure. But right now there's so much to pull from being nerdy and trying to date in this nerdy world. I think there's so much funny here.
Yeah.
So we'll see. One day I'll make a joke about them and they'll be like, oh, we didn't think you'd actually do it. Now we're hurt. Now we don't ever want to talk to you again.
Yeah, I didn't really start doing that and making fun of my family until a few years ago. I I had a car accident, and I was in a coma for 30 days a couple years ago.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll tell you something. You'll hear this a lot from people who've been in accidents. They're never quite the same. They always change. And in my case, I became a lot more angrier and edgier, and I've gone places in my stand-up that I haven't gone before, that I'm so surprised in myself. And I said all these really dark and funny things about my family that they all loved, but I had never done that before.
Yeah, I mean, I think, comedy and performing, it evolves so much over your lifetime. Like, what I'm talking about now is not going to be what I'm going to be talking about, in a couple of years. It's just not who I'll be anymore, Yeah. I mean, of course, I'll be fundamentally myself, but, stuff will be different. And who knows, I may be like, after I have kids, I might be like a whole foul mouth like mom. I don't know. Like, I might turn into Roseanne.
Yeah, the anti-soccer mom. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I was starting from when I was about 3 or 4, I used to entertain the family after dinner. I used to imitate my favorite stand-up comedians, and I used to put on these imaginary Saturday Night Live sketches where I would play every character. I used to run, change my clothes, come back on, and keep it going like it never stopped when I was a kid.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, I loved Saturday Night Live so much. I remember running around the house trying to be Opera Man, all the time. And everyone's like, okay, that's enough. I'm like, no, but Opera Man's the best. Now thinking, later on, I'm like, there's so many better sketches than that one, but for some reason that just really, I was like, I need a cape. And I need to sing like Adam Sandler. But I mean, that was like the golden age of Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
I grew up watching it. I probably shouldn't have, but I did. And I grew up watching in living color and just loving
love that show.
Sketch comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up on sketch comedy. I even grew up listening to like vinyl records of like, Bill Cosby and Eddie Murphy and stuff like that. I still listen to that stuff. I think it's amazing, these, comedy icons, and having them forever on a record is amazing to me.
Yeah. My dad, when I was growing up, he was a lead singer in a rock band, and my favorite comedians were the edgy rock and roll comedians. Sam Kinison, Andrew Dice Clay, Bobcat Goldthwait, those were like my guys. Just because they were very just dark and edgy, said whatever they wanted, and they brought a lot of performance into their stand-up. And those were my guys. I mean, I like the clean guys too. I like Seinfeld and Wendy Liebman and Stephen Wright and all that, but I loved those 3 guys. Those were my guys when I was growing up.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it all, but definitely my family, especially my dad, was the major guy into comedy, and he, being a black guy, loved black comedians with foul mouths, and I listened to it all. I was like, okay. And I just kind of always thought that's the way people talk.
Yeah.
I learned later that it wasn't. It wasn't the way you're supposed to talk. You weren't supposed to use certain words, but I learned that later on.
Yeah. Oh, I was saying fuck.
I was like, people talk like that at my school. And my dad's like, who talks like that at your school? And I was like, oh, is that not what we're supposed to be doing? But you never said it was wrong.
Oh, I was saying fuck from the time I was 4, and I had a lot of bars of soap in my mouth.
Oh God, I don't, I was never punished like that, thank God, because I did have a pretty foul mouth. But I think we thought it was pretty funny. But I guess I kind of knew when to turn it off and when it was funny from a young age, because I was around so many adults, so young in a professional atmosphere, that I knew when I could pull it off and when I couldn't. For the most part, I'm sure there was some times when they were like, okay, that's enough. But you learn, young, you learn to read the room.
Yeah, that's true. Me though, sometimes I just don't care. I just go for it, and if they don't like it, too bad. They can always leave.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is always an option, and you gotta express yourself the way you want to express yourself, and especially in comedy. There's so many lines that could be crossed, but I don't know. Like the ones that really make you laugh are the ones that push those lines. So.
Yep.
You gotta figure it out for yourself. Although you can feel it in the room when you cross that line. You're like, oh, there was the line. I clearly went over. like there's a feeling that like permeates, and you're like, all right.
I saw.
It's the feeling that you can't quite describe to people that haven't felt it, I guess.
Yeah. I saw a video of you singing the Darkwing Duck theme. I liked it.
Oh, I love that. I love that era of classic cartoons, so much. And I've been revisiting it a lot with my niece and nephew because they're at the age where I can torture them still, be like, oh, watch this, what I used to watch when I was a kid. And they're not, they think it's cool. In a couple of years, they'll be like, stop torturing us. And right now, they're like, oh, that's so cool. So I'm watching, a lot of, DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and Rugrats and all these classic stuff that I grew up with, and forcing my niece and nephew to watch, and they love it.
Nice.
So it's really nice to go through all that nostalgia. And actually, I think a lot of it, for the most part, holds up. For the most part, I get new stuff from watching and exploring all this old stuff. I'm like, oh, they really didn't just play to kids. There's a lot of layers in the stuff. That I'm like, oh, now I find that so much funny. Especially Rugrats. I'm like, oh my god, this speaks to me so much more than it did when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can relate to that. I was a Beavis and Butthead guy.
Oh, me too. I loved Beavis and Butthead. It was, I didn't really love the relaunch.
Yeah. There was some funny moments in the relaunch, but it wasn't that great. It wasn't quite the same.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it didn't translate. But growing up with Beavis and Butthead, and I remember seeing the movie in the movie theater on Christmas and just laughing so hysterically. It was amazing, and so I was really excited when it came back, and I was just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why I'm not connecting to it. I hope they never redo Daria, so I don't have to feel that way about that, because I like watching old Daria, and I think it speaks pretty well. But if they redid it, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it would be as good either.
No, and
go ahead.
They're talking about doing live action ones sometimes, and I'm like, oh, please don't.
No.
I don't know. Unless it's Aubrey Plaza, then maybe I'll watch it.
Okay,
let's face it, I'll watch it. But.
Okay, I'm gonna do favorites. You tell me what your favorite is and why, and then you ask me the same. Okay.
Okay.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element.
And yeah, Fifth Element. I don't know why it speaks to me. I just think that there's so much. So it's comedy, it's action, it's sci-fi, and for some reason seeing it, it is, it always makes me happy, and I love watching Chris Tucker just prance around. It's really hilarious. But yeah, that's definitely my favorite movie of all time. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Back to the Future. I was 3 years old when I first saw it on HBO. I remember the night it first premiered, Wednesday, April 1st, 1987. And
Wow.
it's always been a special movie to me because just like everybody who it appeals to, I've always had that fantasy of going back and seeing my parents when they were in high school, and it has every genre I love. I mean, I love all movie genres, but it's got every movie genre I love in it. It's got comedy and action, romance and music and all this stuff, and just I just get chills every time I watch it from start to finish. It's had a profound impact on me that I can't describe. It's just a great movie.
Yeah, it's hard to describe why something speaks to you sometimes.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite horror movie?
Oh, favorite horror movie. I'm a big horror movie fanatic. And I guess it kind of depends on my mood. Lately, my mood has been You're Next is kind of like one of my favorites because it's like the family dinner from hell. Yeah. And I could see some of my family dinners going that way. And I think it's funny. I think it's scary. And I don't know. I think it was pretty unique. I like seeing unique horror, and I like seeing comedy incorporated in there. But also Get Out. I mean, I have to take Get Out as well.
Great movie. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, comedy and horror, like, that's my ultimate. So, yeah.
Me too, yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite horror?
I have several favorites divided into, zombies, vampires, werewolves, stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite zombie movie of all time is Dawn of the Dead. I just think it's an incredible, wacky romp of a horror movie. It's just iconic. It really cemented the Splat genre of horror. My favorite slasher movie is the original Friday the 13th. I just think it's
oh my god, yeah,
great cast, great dialogue, great situations, great kills and stuff. Kevin Bacon's kill is hilarious, I think.
It's so memorable.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even. What a great way to. Well, I guess not a great way to go. Actually, that would really suck. When you think about it, it would really suck.
Yeah. My favorite vampire movie is a movie most people don't remember. It was made in 1986. It was called Vamp.
Oh, no, I don't know that one, I don't think.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino kind of ripped it off when he did From Dusk Till Dawn. It's about these college guys. They go to this strip bar that's all vampires. I mean, it's not action-packed like From Dusk Till Dawn, but it's got a lot of the same elements. It's got Grace Jones in it. She's the head vampire. She's the
oh my god, her costume is amazing.
Yeah, she's the head vampire and the stripper that's really popular at the club and stuff. It's a great, funny vampire movie. And for werewolf, The Howling.
Yeah.
That's a great
movie. I do love, what's it called? Werewolf in London.
Oh, yeah, American Werewolf in London. Yeah.
American Werewolf in London. Just because, I don't know, I think it was one of the first ones I actually, one of the first werewolf films besides Wolfman that I saw. Mm-hmm. I grew up on the classics. My mom would be like, oh, we're going to watch, Nosferatu today. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I think that was one of, the most, the first, modern adaptations that I've seen. So I kind of have a fondness of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go to horror conventions and I meet all these people and stuff. I'll be at Monsterpalooza in Pasadena in a couple of weeks.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I always seem to miss that one. I don't know why, but I do. I love horror so much. And I do have, weird phobias that I like to, if I ever get to meet, certain directors, I'm always like, oh, yeah, you gave me a phobia. And they're like, that's weird. Pet Cemetery gave me one of my phobias, and I got to meet the director of Pet Cemetery, and like, yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, it's okay. There are worse things.
Yeah, I'll be there in a couple weeks, and I'll interview celebrities at their table if they'll let me. And
Nice.
It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I just started doing that. I interviewed Kelly recently at the Silver Screen Festival in Santa Rosa, and we got a video of it on YouTube. It's pretty funny.
I'll have to check it out for sure.
Yeah.
Because, you were in Santa Rosa. I'm always in Santa Rosa.
Really?
Yeah, I have family up there. They've been coming down a lot lately because Santa Rosa has kind of they've gone through a lot. So it's not, they kind of don't want to be there as much.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I met, what's his name? Rico Browning from The Creature from the Black Lagoon there.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the underwater creature, not the one that's out of the water. But yeah, nice man. They were doing a birthday celebration for him. It was cool.
Imagine being the creature from the Black Lagoon, the aquatic side. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was probably an interesting gig to have. For sure.
Absolutely. I was just thrilled. I'm like, wow, I'm authentic. I got a press badge, you know? Because I didn't know. I wasn't aware of the convention scene being so fun and popular until just a couple of years ago. Because when I was growing up, I wanted to go to Fangoria, Weekend of Horrors, and my parents wouldn't take me because they don't like the horror or sci-fi genres. I had to do everything that they wanted to do, you know? Now that I'm an adult, I can go to any of them, and it's so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, conventions are so fun. And just, like, being around people that are into the same stuff as you, it's so freeing.
Mm-hmm. Is there a horror movie actor? Okay, is there a horror movie actor that you would screw?
I mean, yeah, I would say like classic Nightmare on Elm Street, Johnny Depp for sure.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. But like if we're talking villains, we used to like talk about like which like serial killer or which like classic horror monster you would totally like have sex with, and I think that if I was going in that direction, it would probably be like if we're talking classic, I would say Jason. Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah. Over like Freddy Krueger because he's a gross pedophile, but he's so funny. But like no, not dating. He's like not dating material. For sure not.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
And then Jason has like a nice little mommy complex, and so he seems like he'd be a good date, I guess.
Yeah. That's funny. Me for like Scream Queens and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely Linnea Quigley, and I've told her that. I've interviewed her, and she interviewed me for her documentary, and she was so flattered by that.
Oh, that's so cool that you got to like meet, your Scream Queen hero.
Oh, her! I've been so lucky. All the ones I've met have been just so nice. I've only met a couple celebrities at conventions that were absolute jerks. Just a couple.
Yeah, I don't have too many bad stories about celebrities in general. I've been very lucky. I have weird celebrity stories, but definitely not a lot of mean ones.
I've met Tom Savini, right? And so many people will say that he's an asshole, blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean he just sits there and he's kind of dry and he doesn't really talk to the fan unless they ask him a question, But
yeah,
he's cool for the most part, and he's willing to sign anything and talk about anything. But if you talk to him first, I had this really weird encounter one time with Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the after party at Son of Monster Palooza. I'm in line getting a drink, and she just did a celebrity judging for the stupid contest that they were doing. And she's walking out, leaving, and I approached her, and I didn't want an autograph. I didn't want a selfie with her. I just wanted to tell her that I loved her work. And I was like, Caroline? And she was like, yes. And I was like, hi, my name is Tommy Kovac. And before I could finish the rest, she walked away just rudely. And I was mad. And I yelled out, fucking bitch, I hope you die like you did in Leprechaun 3. And all these fanboys in the back of the line were fucking rolling and going, yeah, man, you tell her.
Oh, God. I mean, cons are exhausting, so maybe it doesn't bring out the best in people, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if you're working as many conventions as they probably do, you know?
Mm-hmm. I told a couple of people that are friends with her about that, and they say, yeah, she must have been having a bad night because she's generally a very nice person. And I was like, wow. I mean, yeah, that was just a very strange moment, I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure we all have those days where we're not our best and we get caught in it.
Yeah.
I know I have.
So do you have to go now?
I do. I have to set up for my Legion of Leia podcast. I have people coming over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I couldn't talk for much longer because it was really fun.
Well, if we could talk again real soon and talk longer, that would be great.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we can definitely make that happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anastasia, for taking the time today and getting to know each other a little bit. We'll get to know each other a little more next time.
Awesome. I look forward to it. Thanks so much.
Awesome. My pleasure. You have a good show today. And can I send you a friend request on Facebook?
Sure.
Awesome.
All right.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Anastasia Washington. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Anastasia. That was a very nice, short interview there. We did cover quite a bit. We'll cover a lot more next time. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page and follow me on Twitter. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.